Insane fights on paternity court.
You took 29 years of his life of not having a dad and being confused for so many years.
Why did you disappear? Why did you?
I've lived in Orlando, Florida for the last 29 years.
No.
I called her, I just summed it up. You shut up.
Mr. Thompson, let's be respectful to ladies.
Not see, that's his problem. He's disrespectful.
Well, gather round, folks, because we've got a case that's juicier than a soap opera. Oh, yeah, it's the classic tale of Who's Your Daddy, starring Mr. Horn and Miss Mannion. Get her ready for some DNA drama as they both fight it out.
Mr. Horn, you had a wild weekend 3 decades ago and now find yourself in court to prove that you are not the biological father of Ms. Mannion's 29-year-old son, Andrew. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
You will meet him for the very first time in a moment, but say today's DNA test will prove you are not his dad.
Yes, ma'am.
So picture this. Baby daddy had a wild weekend 3 decades ago. Quite a fun time. Now, he's in court trying to prove he's not the dad of 29-year-old Andrew. Well, the fun times resulted in fun consequences. Surely not for these guys.
I got a phone call from a family member who never calls me at work. Asked me if I remembered a certain name. I was back then. I really don't have a clue who you're talking about. And so she mentioned a couple other names, and that kind of rung a bell, and told me that she got a phone call from Mr. Haight saying that I might be his father.
Wait a minute, there's more. The plaintiff admitted to the wild weekend of passion, however, swore up and down that he was most surely her baby daddy. It's like a plot twist you didn't see coming. Am I right? So, what's it gonna be?
I was in another relationship, and a paternity test did come out that the other guy was not the father. And there was only 2 people that I was with during that time.
So there were 2 people you were with, and you said you had a DNA test on the other one, and so you feel like it has to be Mr. Horn from this point.
Yes.
Time for another crazy turn. Mr. Horn claims he received a shocking phone call, and that too 5 years ago. That's quite some time. Someone dropped a bombshell that he might be Andrew's dad. Certainly not the news he would have loved hearing. Nope.
I only slept with Mr. Horn twice.
Okay.
One that night and one the next day.
And then from there, you guys did not start a relationship. You didn't keep in touch. It was none of that.
Not even close.
Did you ever hear she was pregnant?
I found out that she was pregnant after she had the child.
Now, here's where it gets spicy. Baby daddy threw some shade and implied that Miss Mannion might have been a bit promiscuous back in the day. Ouch! Not something you want to hear about yourself in front of a bunch of people.
When I called, the grandmother answered the phone, and I said who I was, and the grandmother's like, "Are you sure that you're the father?"
So you knew at that point there was a question as to the paternity.
Yes, ma'am. I used to drink a lot and used to drug a lot. I was a no case way to take care of a kid.
Next up, the court heard about the birth certificate, another guy, and a mysterious DNA test. Here was the catch, though. No one had seen this supposed test. It's like trying to solve a mystery without any clues. Nada!
My mother told me that he contacted them and even left his name, his phone number for when my child gets older to contact them.
Ms. Mannion, you are stating to the court that you do, in fact, agree with Mr. Horn's testimony that at some point he called a family member to inquire.
Yes, he did.
But the real kicker was when Andrew, the 29-year-old in question, stepped up. About time, fella. He had been carrying the name Kevin Horn in his mind since he was 12, and now he's in desperate need of some answers.
I asked her who he was, and she gave me the name Kevin Horn.
The first time you asked.
The first time I asked.
And she had absolutely no doubt in her mind.
She had no doubt in her mind.
She didn't say it could be somebody else too.
No, she didn't.
Just said Kevin Horn.
Yep.
At that point, what did you do with that information?
I stored it in memory.
Time for the birth certificate to have its time of the day. Now this was truly insane, because the poor guy had never seen his birth certificate before, and the fact that another man's name was listed as father, that must have been confusing as heck.
The name of the father on the birth certificate, is it the same name of the man that had the test previously?
Yes, it is. He signed the birth certificate before the test was done.
So, Mr. Horn, you don't seem like you believe in this.
Is anybody actually in here believing this crap?
Being sucked up in this whirlwind of paternity drama, Judge Lake blew up on these people. casually making such choices and for such a long time. So she ended up taking them along a ride they would never forget.
First, he thought your father was his father. Then he thought your husband was his father. Then you told him he was his father. Then in court,
Then
you
you
said
told him
there's
somebody else.
another guy. I'm listening to this story. And at 29 years of age, I think we need to take a little bit more seriously. He still really doesn't know who his biological father is.
Let's wrap up this paternity saga and pull the curtain on this 3-decade-long drama. Mr. Andrew wanted answers, and he had waited long enough. All eyes on the envelope. Let's see what his fate is.
It has been determined by this court. Mr. Horn, you are his father.
We got this done, right?
Yeah.
How do you feel?
I'm very happy.
I'm happy for you.
We've got a classic episode of He Said, She Said in the courtroom today. Meet Miss Greenhouse, who summoned Mr. Thompson to the ultimate showdown. She was suing Mr. Thompson for a cool $750, claiming it's the down payment she put on a car for him. Say what? And that wasn't all.
You summoned Mr. Thompson to court for a DNA test for your 7-month-old son, G. You claim he has neglected his responsibilities as a father since you called off the wedding last month.
Yes, Your Honor.
You were also suing Mr. Thompson for $750, the amount of the down payment you put on a vehicle for him.
Yes, Your Honor.
It's the classic tale of love gone sour on relationship roller coaster. Baby mama and daddy, after a whopping 11 years on-again, off-again drama, finally decided to cancel their wedding. Yup. Why, you ask? Well, the usual suspects: insecurity, disrespect, and accusations of infidelity. Who needs reality TV when you've got this juicy saga?
Right, I went off to college. Right after I had my 4-year-old son, I got pregnant and we tried to make it work there. In between the 4 years that after my son was born, we tried off and on, and it still hasn't worked out, and I just finally got tired of it. Every time I turn around, is you messing with this person, you're sleeping with this person, but Greg dropped me off at work everywhere I go. He has my phone, he dropped me off and picked me up, so where is there time to cheat on you at?
Fasten your seatbelts now. It's gonna get real turbulent. Mr. Thompson and Miss Greenhouse were locked in a heated debate about their past, and the accusations were flying faster than a superhero in a cape. Dear Lord, baby daddy insisted on multiple partners, while mommy obviously disputed it.
She was still having sex with multiple partners
That's a
at
lie.
the time.
You asked me who did I have sex. It was never multiple partners,
it's
so
not
don't
a
ever
lie.
come at me like that. You asked me
It's
who did I
not a
have
lie.
sex
What
with.
I do?
2 weeks
What I
prior,
do?
Did we have sex? I
My
had
bad,
sex with
Mom.
somebody else.
What I do? I went through
2
your
weeks
phone.
prior.
I went through your
2 weeks
Facebook.
prior.
It ain't no 2 weeks.
prior.
Well, they kept duking it out over their relationship. Yep, still at it. Thompson claimed that the plaintiff accused him of sticking around only because of their child, SJ. Pretty soon, financial matters were thrown into the mix, and it got heated. It's like a soap opera with a dash of Family Feud, and Judge Lake was in the middle of it all, trying to untangle this messy web of accusations and emotions.
Why do you go back to him over and over again?
Because, Your Honor, I love Greg. I've been with Greg for 11 years. Greg was my first actual boyfriend. I planned on having a wedding with this man. I have 2 kids by this man. I planned on living my life with this man. When Greg talking about my family, when I was pregnant with my son, me and my family had an altercation, fell off. I didn't talk to my family for months at a time.
Time for the get to the babies moment. Because of some 2-week relationship hiccups and mommy's admission of sleeping with someone else during their break, there were no huge doubts. But hold on, she said he knew about it before they got back together. But the trust ship had sailed.
I should
What's
have
the problem with me giving my family?
I'm not addressing your
Okay.
family. What I am
Okay.
telling you, and what
They
I'm
give you
telling you
money.
why you family
They give you money.
is
When I
when
do
it's
it, we
all
not
said and
hurting.
done, I help them as much as I can with rent, you know it, lights, car payments, whatever they need, whatever I can do to keep them a family together, I will do.
A whiteboard controversy here, folks. The plaintiff claimed that the defendant suggested the name G on the hospital whiteboard upon birth, and Dada was quick to agree to that and even signed the birth certificate. However, a bombshell dropped then. He wanted a DNA test, but he was lied to by the mommy.
She asked you about a DNA test and you declined.
I said something about it, and she said they said they not gonna do that
That's
here.
a lie. That
what
sounds
she told
stupid.
me.
They don't do DNA tests at a hospital.
And so, Ms. Greenhouse, you said you have a witness that can testify that in fact he did deny wanting a DNA
yes,
test.
Your Honor.
Here comes Shanta, Mr. Greenhouse's sister, all ready to spill the tea. She claims she overheard a juicy conversation between Kristen and Greg, and that too right before they signed those crucial hospital papers for little G. Let's hear what it was.
When it came up to them going to the hospital to have G, Chrissy was talking to Greg or whatever. She was like, hey, make sure, right before they brought in the paperwork, the affidavit stuff. She was like, are you sure you want to do that? We can get a DNA test. Greg said, man, shut up. Like, he was excited. He was like, man, shut up. For what? That's exactly what he said.
And you heard that?
I was on the phone with her.
Here's the lowdown. The witness shared a bit about baby daddy's behavior. Apparently, little G made a comment that got him all riled up. Poor kid basically said, that might be G's daddy, but you're my daddy. Ouch. Time for Greg to do some explaining.
It might be G daddy, but you my daddy, is what he telling me. So I called her, I just summed it up. You shut up.
Mr. Thompson, let's be respectful to ladies.
Nah, see, that's his problem. He's disrespectful.
Ma'am, I'm gonna escort you out of the courtroom if you open your mouth one more time before you're addressed. You understand me?
Yeah.
Thank you.
The courtroom is like a pressure cooker ready to blow. Any second now. The defendant's bad behavior took center stage, and the ladies were not having it. They were calling him out on his disrespectful attitude, and rightfully so. Even the judge got fed up.
It's
Mr.
a problem.
Thompson, the way you're speaking to women is disturbing me. All of this is disturbing. A strong mother, you would never want anyone to tell her to shut
You
up.
talk to her like that.
Well,
You do.
I talked to you like
You do. Yes.
We ain't here for me.
Okay, right.
I can take
That's
care
the
of me.
truth, right.
Trust me.
That's fine.
All right, paternity folks, let's get to the bottom of this case now, shall we? Because these guys were just talking and rambling on. But we need answers, right? So we gotta have those. Here we go.
it has been determined by this court. Mr. Thompson, you are the father. You are the father.
I feel more relief.
For what? And you knew this from jump.
I did.
You knew this from jump.
You knew I had doubts from jump.
Ugh, what a tangled web of young love we've got here. Miss Mitchell claimed her childhood sweetheart, Mr. Robinson, pressured her into losing her virginity and ding ding ding, an unexpected pregnancy. And now, doubts plagued him left and right.
You claim your childhood sweetheart stole your virginity, got you pregnant, and is now denying paternity of your 2-month-old daughter, Rylan.
Yes, Your Honor.
And Mr. Robinson, in your defense, you claim you doubt Ms. Mitchell told you she was pregnant. You found out she was sleeping with 4 other men.
Yes, Your Honor.
The drama continues. Mr. Robinson claims he only found out about the possible other men in Miss Mitchell's life through Facebook. And wait a sec, from her best friend, who was quite eager to spill the beans on her friend.
She had one of her friends she grew up with inboxed me and her on Facebook and said, I'm not trying to start no drama. I thought I'd let you know that she had sex with 4 other guys, okay?
Let me get this story straight. You start getting messages from the peanut gallery.
Yes, Your Honor, from her best friend.
Well, here's a twist. Erica, a key player in this drama, apparently went to the hospital and tried to get Ryan involved in the baby's life. But that didn't work. Meanwhile, Diana, Hope's mom, joined the party and adamantly defended her daughter's virtue. She claimed she was raised better than all this drama suggested.
And Hope was raised better than to lay around sleeping with men. I have no clue where they come up with that. No clue whatsoever where they come up with 4 men. That is not true. And as far as him saying that he was in jail, I have proof right here that he didn't get arrested until 2 days after the baby was born.
So if he was in jail...
Social media showdown in the courtroom. Miss Diana claimed that Ryan didn't get to the hospital when Rylan was born, and someone was behind that. However, the real reason was revealed soon enough. Facebook drama was also on the menu, with accusations flying about statuses and immaturity, and there went the judge.
You all in this Facebook, and this, if you all would have just stayed on Facebook instead of laying down in the bed with no protection, we wouldn't be here. But now you all want to talk about Facebook all day. And I want you all to understand that beautiful
Your Honor,
little girl is what matters.
Man, this was like a soap opera on steroids. Now, Diana met Mr. Robinson, the potential baby daddy, and things seemed fine at first, but it all went south pretty soon. Now, Heather was in the mix, and she was here to tell the court that Hope didn't want Ryan to be a part of Rylan's life. Lord, when will this drama end?
I met him. He took me to his mother's house. It was a good time. I mean, it was a nice day. I thought, okay, well, maybe he's going to be okay. Well, then evidently he's back with Heather or whatever, and everything changes. Everything changes.
So, we've got a baby named Rylan in the mix, and her potential daddy, who seriously doubted his paternity. He argued that baby Rylan didn't look like him. So much so, he even presented pictures of his son. But mommy didn't buy that.
Look at my son and look at her. They look nothing alike.
She looks
That
like
is
me.
my identical twin.
This is a picture of Rylan and your son on the right.
That
Yes.
looks like Heather.
Yes, Your Honor. No, it
Don't
looks
look
like
you.
me.
It doesn't
Just like
look
me.
like
No, it
you.
looks like
And you're
Heather.
saying you don't see a resemblance
Family
between
member.
these two
No,
children?
honestly, I
Well,
don't.
they have two different
No.
moms. She looks just like me.
Well, these guys sure were ready to hear the results. And I think I say this for everyone, so were we. That was a lot to process, and these guys sure as heck did not make it easier for the court. Let's see what fate the baby has dealt with.
Mr. Robinson, you are the father. So now, before I ask, I have to say, concerning the arbitration where you were asking the court for, it has been determined that you are